All right, everybody, welcome to the Unscripted Podcast. Thank you, Corby, for my audio introduction. As you all can see, and I have revealed the secret that the background is fake. I am just a few days away from moving to my official home at the Junction in Old Hilliard. And this morning, my guest and I have been trying new toys that I got for the Junction, and I couldn't figure any of them out because I'm not that bright. So here we are. Either way, my guest today, Mr. Darren W. Carter. Darren, will you introduce yourself to my guest?
This guy always talking about he's not that bright, but now he has a business. He always ahead of something. Graduated. I'm not that man. Please, I've known you since you were yay high to a pig's knee or something, as they used to say. That was really old, wasn't it?
It is old.
I am the Darren W. Carter, a friend and brother of this wonderful gentleman here, Aaron Conrad. I'm owner of Carter's BBQ. I'm all around nice guy. Make steel for a living, and I'm a classmate of Aaron of the great class of 1988 of Bedford High School.
BHS, shout out.
That's right.
Well, man, it's an honor to have you on. And if anybody's missed it, this is our second episode. Our first episode, please go back and find it because we covered a lot of ground in that one. And honestly, it's one of the ones that, again, I like to thank everybody. This is episode 98. We're getting close to 100. And man, without every one of the guests that said, yeah, man, I'll come on. And I should have looked it up beforehand, but yours was one of the first where you came on at a time in our country when there was a lot of stuff going on, and we had some deep conversation. And I'm going to tell you, Darren, the conversation that we had. And so again, not to plug my own podcast, but please go find that because honestly, we had some real deep conversation, and you said some things that really, really resonated with people that I heard from long after. And I think, unfortunately, there's a blessing and a curse. 100 episodes is awesome, but at the same time, there was a lot of episodes early on the days that were really, really good that I'm afraid people have missed because they're catching up with the most recent. Anyway, this one's not about me. It's about you. But I did want to tell you that, man, you came on early. You believed in this. You've been a supporter of mine. You've been my friend and have been for many years. And we covered a lot of really, really deep ground on that one. And so please go find that if you're listening to this podcast. But what we're here to talk about today is the t-shirt you got on. Carter's BBQ, man. Let's start there. What's going on with Carter's BBQ?
So I was cooking. I think, oh man, I don't have the props. What is wrong with me?
I couldn't get.
We're gonna have to hold on.
Fine.
Go to commercial message.
All right. So I'll just talk while Darren is not currently here. He ran away from his desk if you're watching on video. But I will tell you this, I got a lot of new toys. So I'm just filling space here on the podcast. Welcome to Unscripted. But at the end of the day, I got a lot of new toys and I can't figure out how to use any of them. But trust me, the audio, the video, the content, everything will be much better in the next couple of weeks as soon as I figure out how to use all the new toys I got. Darren is back. Let me turn it back over to you.
All right. And don't believe this guy. The guy's doing a great job. When you level up and you do new things, you're going to have these missteps. You're going to have things that don't work perfectly. So you're doing everything fine. So, in that sense of leveling up, Carter's BBQ started in 19, and we were cooking for people, just doing a few things. We started to do some dinners, and people was like, oh, that's nice. Had a couple of catering events, and we thought, okay, well, maybe we can really make this a business. So, we got to legitimize. 2020 was going to be our breakout year. We're going to do some things. We had a few things lined up, but of course, 2020 was the year that was not. And without even rehashing all that, we all know what happened in 2020. Right. So we could not do what we wanted to. Then come 2021, it was like, okay, let's kind of really try to do some things. And I got my shoulder hurt at work and I had to get a surgery. I don't have a sling on today because I'm past my 12 weeks, so I'm healing now, but really couldn't do cooking as much there. But this year we decided we have to make a jump somehow to go from just how we're doing it to making it to where we can expand our customer base and do all that kind of stuff. One of the things we did, I don't know if I talked to you about it last time, but I had a sauce and a rub that I was probably going to market. And though it's marketed, from my own hands, people can't see it though, but I'm holding up a packaging of my rub. It's Carter's Barbecue Chicken and Pork Rub, which I sell off my website, as well as my signature sauce, and I call that Carter's Barbecue's Teresa Sweet Honey, because that's my wife and she's my sweet honey.
That's awesome.
So that is two products that we're starting to hopefully get out to where that's kind of passive, without me going out cooking and doing anything, just some things, some passive income. I have another garlic one that I'm test kitchening right now. That may be out before the end of the year. If not, it may be out the first of the year. But just something people have asked for the sauce. They try to, when we sell dinners and things like that, can I buy some extra sauce? Can I do this? Yeah. So why not just package it, see how, if it has legs. If it doesn't, it's okay. The journey is what the journey is. We'll win some and we'll lose some. So like yourself, you're taking that next level. You got your business going. I saw everything. I'm so proud and grateful and to see where you're going with that, because what you did, look, y'all in Zoom land, in radio land, podcast land, I got his stuff on the cheap. He helped me for free. Now y'all got to pay for it. So the stuff his new business is doing was things I was asking you questions about when we kind of got into this internet blogging thing years ago, and that is just perfect for you. Yeah. So, but we're trying to do, we're trying to get a food trailer. We're trying to get a food trailer. We're trying to get a custom smoker. And by doing that, we're doing a crowdfunding thing through this group called Honeycomb Credit. Yep. Now, when people say crowdfunding, a lot of people, there's a lot of positive and negative to it, okay? Why you want a handout? Why can't you do this by yourself? Blah, 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 blah. This is not a GoFundMe. We're not asking you to donate gifts. This is not a Kickstarter. We're not asking you to be a backer to a product that may never happen. There are some other things we care, some other people that, they ask for equity. We're asking for an investment. What that means is, just like any other investment, if you got Robinhood or Schwab or any other of these investments, you put in money, there's a risk, but there's also a reward. Mm-hmm. And with us, you get a return on that particular investment. There's a fixed percentage rate that you can get back over the time of the loan, the term of the loan. I'm sorry. So it's not just here, give you so much $1 money and blah, blah, blah. No, you get that and you get it back with interest. And then you're investing in us. You're investing in Teresa and myself. You're investing into a small business, a local small business for some of us, you know what I'm saying? And You're helping a business take that next level to do what we need to do within the community. And your listeners may not know you as much, but they can always find me. But I'm a community-minded person. So anything I do, whether it's just from personal to business, the community is going to be involved. Mm-hmm. So an investment into our campaign to help us get this equipment to level up is also investing in the communities in which I'm able to go to. So it's a lot more than just, I'm going to donate some money, or okay, I'll give you a couple of dollars here. It's an investment into something larger, and something that can hopefully continue on legacy-wise, because Carter's Barbecue, we wanted to grow, we wanted to continue, but I wanted to be able to have this to where my son gets into it, or my godson or my daughters, that they come and become a part of the business and keep that going and going and going. And that can happen if people help us get to the point that where we are. And, we're not ashamed. We tried. People can't see this. I'm not ashamed at all. This is a letter from a local bank. Y'all got Huntington down there in Columbus?
Absolutely, 100%. We got pens everywhere.
Yeah, Huntington. Okay. This little bright thing right there, mm-hmm. That reads, "That's unable to approve your request." Okay.
And you got a frame. So anybody not watching, please understand. Darren just showed us a picture in a frame of a letter that says they're unable to do the request.
Yeah, they had a specific, supposedly for startups and minorities or whatever, veterans, loan that could help jumpstart your things, your business. It wasn't supposed to be SBA, Garnet, or whatever. I'm not sure, but it was, which was not a big deal. We met all the requirements. Credit wise was fine. Whatever we had to, thankfully, me and my wife make a decent living. We ain't living up somewhere in Seven Hills or wherever it is. Right. I don't know, but we're okay. We eat, and they said no. My wife and I, we had a bad stint 2 years before our marriage, and we filed for bankruptcy. That was, we were married in 1999, so that was 2001.
Yeah.
So because of that, and because of things not being perfect since that time, basically they was like, no, and we didn't have enough quote unquote assets for them as well. But which, bankruptcies come off after 7 years. We don't care about the bankruptcy. I mean, things happen. Nobody's perfect. I was getting way out of debt by that time. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to make up for my mistakes pre-marriage, So I'm like, how can you go back that far and do that? And if you're just getting out of bankruptcy, that's what bankruptcy is for, to help you try to get back on track. So, and then we went through a rough time where we both were laid off at the same time, like 3 times in our marriage in our early first 10 years. So there was some struggles there. But now, if we look back to the last of our, our credits, and I don't mind talking about this because this is something that people deal with on a daily basis, but even though you get those type of letters, you can push through and find other ways to do what you need to do. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So you looked at the last 5 to 10 years of what we're doing, we're good. But they wanted to go 20 years down the road and say they couldn't do our request.
Yeah.
So I gave them a finger that I never put up a lot, Yeah. And I said, okay, whatever way, I'm gonna get done what I've done, because one, I believe in me, I believe in us, and I believe in our business. And then thankfully a friend of mine hooked me up with Honeycomb Credit. We talked to him, I told him the story. I was like, look, if y'all gonna do the same thing, I'm not interested. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. And they were like, well, that was illegal, and no, we're not gonna do the same thing. So here you go. Nice. Let's do this. Nice. If this doesn't work out, I'm gonna find another way. I pray that this one does. It seems to be the best fit, because you have people become almost like partners with you in your business. They're invested into something, and they're more suited to show off their investment, show off to see what their investment does. You know what I'm saying? Than if they just gave a donation, or I just got money from, those crazy people. So, I'm moving my bank pretty soon, but
well, I always came through. In a previous life, one of my goals, I had 2 goals in a previous life as a director of business development. And that was, one, to have more pens in rotation than Huntington Bank, because they have somehow figured out, everybody, I guarantee anybody listening to this, look in your purse, look in your car, at home, somewhere, you got a pen from Huntington Bank. Shout out Huntington Bank, good for you, whatever. But 2, I wanted to have better music than the Kroger on Cemetery Road in Hilliard. Neither one of those came true, but at the end of the day, who cares about Huntington and their pens? At the end of the day, I think what you're saying, and if I'm hearing you right, this is an opportunity for me to be Mr. Wonderful on Shark Tank or Mark Cuban, and in essence, what is Honeycomb? What is it called?
Honeycomb Credit. Yeah.
Honeycomb Credit. So Honeycomb Credit is a chance for me to be a shark and to listen. And if you're listening to this, I just heard your pitch, and it's a chance for me to say I'm in or I'm out. Did I just say that right? Can we say that?
With yes, in a sense, yeah. In a sense, yeah, without equity. This is no equity given. Basically, this is just saying, okay, I'll give you X amount of dollars. And with your X amount of dollars, during the length of the term, you're going to get X amount of okay, you see, there's because it's dealing with the SEC, you can't say one thing without the other. Like it's like if I talk about one thing, I can't talk about like the other in specific. I don't know. It's SEC driven, so it's really tripped out. But I'm sure we'll have the link and they can see the page. But if you give X amount of dollars, and we have 3 to 5 year terms. Over that 3 to 5 year term, you're going to get an investment back. You're going to get a percentage back of interest.
Okay.
So whether it's 8 to 10% or whatever that is, you get what you've given, what you've invested, plus that interest back over the length of the term. So if you're in, you're in, not for equity per se, but you're in to get what you have given plus interest.
Am I an owner of the business at that point?
You are not you're not an owner of the business.
I'm not a shareholder within your business.
Not a shareholder.
Okay.
Because you get it back plus interest.
Right. Gotcha. So I'm giving you $1,000 today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get that
very much. I would gladly
$1,000 plus your interest on that 3 to 5 years or whatever it is.
Yes, sir. That's how it will go.
Very cool. All right. So anybody listening to this, that's how we can help fund Carter's Barbecue. And trust me, it is worth it. Darren is worth it. Darren and his wife are worth it. Look, we've all been in a place, and look, hey, we just came out of 2020. People are in situations, and anybody listening to this, you know, as soon as I said that, you know what your situation is. I don't have to tell you what that is. Everybody's different. I'm not judging. We're not here to judge. We're not here to make any sort of judgment on where you're at. But what we are here to say is, man, we've all been there. We can all use a hand up. We can all use an opportunity. We can all use somebody to come alongside us. Maybe you came out of 2020 in a great place, and there's a lot of people that did. There's a lot of people that didn't. But if you came out of 2020 and you see people like Darren and myself that are saying, hey, we're going to start a business, we're going to chase a dream, and we're going to do this, we all could use your help. And I'm not here. This isn't a what do you call it? A phone-a-thon or anything like that. But, at the end of the day, man, Darren's a good man. He's a great man. I've been friends with him for many, many years. We won't say how many, but since high school. He was a good man in high school. He was a good man after high school. He's a good man today, and he's trying to do some great things, and he's doing it in the 2 and 6, which is also very clear and near to my heart. So, let's talk nuts and bolts for a minute, okay? Mm-hmm. So let's just, because do you have a Ninja Foodie?
I haven't gotten one yet. I continue to see CJ's stuff though yet.
Man, come on, dude.
I gotta get it. I mean, I have an air fryer, but I really use it. I like to throw it on the grill, man. I mean, what you want?
I'm telling you, hey, Ninja Foodie gives me nothing. By the way, if anybody from Ninja Foodie's listening, come on, man, help a brother out, because I'm not here peddling Ninja Foodie grill forever. I've had it a year. I think we use it every day. I'm not gonna lie. And their grill feature, dude, I'm telling you, it'll set your world on fire. But that to say, the rubs. So in the last year, I have educated myself on rubs, on sauces, ingredients. I'm not a cooking guy. I'm not, but it kind of dumbs it down enough for a guy like me to be able to make a nice meal for my family. Mm-hmm. That said, so you said you've created a rub. I want to talk nuts and bolts for a minute. So you've created a rub. What does that even look like? Like, did you come up with this mixture, and then how did you go to market with that? Did you have to go to and I'm asking a lot of questions at one time, but did you have to go to a company and say, hey, I've got this rub, and then they label it for you? How does all that work?
The rub I use, this was specifically made for my rib. Ribs are the number one thing for me. So both of these first two products, the sauce and this particular rub, was surrounding to make my ribs taste the way they taste, which is the best in the world. So you got to get you some. So,
hey, I know a guy. I mean,
it took me about maybe 2 years or more to get the specifics to the recipe for I'm holding up my sauce that people can't see, and about a little bit less for the rub. And it's basically a lot of trial and error. I remember my first incantation of this was so heavy in brown sugar. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. I didn't know, much about all the other aromatics and other things, but I had brown sugar in it because I wanted it to be sweet. I got a sweet tooth. But over the years, you play around with different different types and take this out and put this in and put more of that in and garlic and this and salt and pepper. Not, then you put in some kosher salt and maybe some cumin, maybe some dill, just kind of figure out which works until you find the one that you really, really like, and this is the one that I came up with. And like I said, with the sauce, people kept asking for it. Oh, can we get some extra sauce? Can we get some extra sauce? So it's like, okay, I'm gonna start charging y'all for this extra sauce.
100%.
Well, what the heck? Let's see if it got legs. The same thing with the rub. Let's see if it got legs. You're looking at the manufacturer, you're looking at the boxer, you're looking at the label maker, you're looking at everybody. There are bottling companies. There are seasoning bottling companies. But let's take, for instance, here again, startup guy doing this, just on the side. This is not, people got to understand, this is my side hustle to retirement, till my full-time job, but I do have a full-time job. And that takes, we talked about my steel mill job, 12-hour days, swing shifts, all that kind of stuff. So this is a 7-ounce bottle, 5-ounce bottle of rub. To make 500 bottles of these for somebody to produce this for me, I need a $250 fee so they can, with the recipe, that they can reverse engineer it and find out how they can do it and test it and make sure if it's gluten-free, if it's not, software, all that kind of stuff. Then there's another like $250 fee just for your first time. So that's like 500 right there. Then there's a $1,500 fee for your actual filling the bottles, having your bottles, getting them filled up. Then there's about another, well, the labels, either you can make them and send them to them or have a graphic designer do it and send it to. Either way, I would probably make my own, but I had to like go to the Sticker Mule and have Sticker Mule ship it to those. So we're talking maybe another $100, well, maybe about $200, because these, if I got 100 of these, they're 100 something bucks just to label by itself. So that's what's going to be more because it's 500. And then we have to pay for the shipping to get to us. So we're looking almost about $2,200 just for 500 of this.
Okay. And so, and what do you charge per?
This is an $8 bottle.
$8. All right. So $8 for a thing. And I think we all walk through the grocery store and I don't even know I might not even say the name of the company, right? Lowry. Is that right? Is it Lowry?
Lowry's, yeah.
All right. So we see Lowry's got 10 different, 20 different whatevers I want at the grocery store. And unfortunately, they're not a little guy trying to make a buck. They're a big old company that's probably doing this. So is that packaged and made in Cleveland?
No.
Okay. And you don't have to say where it is if you don't want to. I was just curious if it was made.
I don't know where I don't know where I think they're out west.
So you sent them like a Ziploc with your secret sauce, no pun intended. You sent that to them and they tested it out and said, okay, this is worthy. And then for $2,200, it sounds like, let's just call it $3,000. $3,000, they got you back a box of your first shipment. Is that right?
That's what they would charge me. I didn't do that. I do this myself because I don't have the $2,200, $2,500 to make it. So I do these in small batches. I buy the bottles off the internet, find the bottles, I buy them, self-sealing. I design the label, get the labels printed out, put them on by hand. Same thing about this. Go to a commissary kitchen, whip up my batches. Labels were made by me, so I peel them off by hand, put them in there by hand,
wow,
fill by hand, all of that by hand.
So you have like a vat of, I'm sorry, I got something in my throat. You have a vat of barbecue sauce that you've made, and you're pouring that in yourself, putting the labels on yourself, you're shipping yourself to save you the cost. Because again, this is a side hustle. This isn't your A1 job. Maybe one day, hopefully this episode blows up and it is your full-time
Absolutely.
job.
If I don't have to go back to the steel mill, I'm fine.
I can't promise anything, man.
I mean, you big time, so come on now, come on.
Hey, I can't promise anything. I can't, but I am so interested in because at the end of the day, we all go to the store. Mm-hmm. We grab some Lowry's seasoning, or there was a gentleman, I think he's a competitor, so I won't mention it online.
It's fine.
But somebody sent me a box after one of the episodes that I did, and man, I've been using them and I love them because I'm not that bright in terms of cooking. So I just go grab, and what I love is it says chicken. There's one that's cow. There's one that's, and I'm making burgers. I grab the right one. And that's very helpful to me because I'm not a cooker by nature, but it does make it very simple for me. And my family loves what turns out, thanks to the Ninja Foodie and the rubs. It has nothing to do with my expertise. I just make sure I take it out before it burns. That's about the extent of my expertise. So I'm interested in the fact that, if somebody starts a business like this, competing with the big boys, that's what it takes. That's what it takes. So you're now the mix for the rub. Are you doing that in-house too? So you're doing that yourself. You know all the right, and we don't have to give ingredients because then now you give away the secret sauce. But you're pouring in all the ingredients. You're mixing everything up. You're pouring it into a 7 ounce. Did you say?
Yeah, you get 5 ounces in a 7 ounce bottle.
All right, so 5 ounces. You're pouring 5 ounces in. You're putting the label on. You're tightening the thing up, and you're shipping it out to anybody that orders it. Is that right?
That is absolutely correct.
That's amazing, man.
Absolutely correct.
That's amazing. It's absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to try it. Let me ask you one more question, and then I want to talk about food trucks. So the next question is, I think, again, limited knowledge, but I have heard conversations about barbecue sauce. And I think every state or city has their own kind of flair on barbecue. So when they say Carolina barbecue, and correct me, please, if I'm wrong, because I'm probably going to be, Carolina is based in a mustard sauce.
You got mustard and vinegar. Then you get, it's vinegar, you got mustard, and then you have tomato.
Out of Carolina. That's a Carolina barbecue.
Carolina, I want to say mustard and some vinegar. I want to say vinegar too, honestly. I think, especially like in South Carolina, I think it's a vinegar mustard. Okay. I don't, you have to excuse me on my lack of knowledge of that, because up here in Ohio, we're very eclectic.
Right.
We, nobody's going to say, oh, that's Ohio barbecue, unfortunately. But we have a lot of, everything here. And what Cleveland is good at is, I don't want to say that's not the right word, but what Cleveland is good at is pulling apart little pieces from everything and making a special from that. Right. And that becomes that Cleveland product per se. We'll get something, smack it up, flip it, rub it down. Now, you know what I'm saying? So, like mine is a tomato base. I can't do vinegar and mustard is right. Mine is a tomato base, and I like I like a little sweet heat. You know what I'm saying? I'm about a hot guy, right. But I like it to go down sweet, and then after a while, oh, there we go. That tinge at the bottom. Yeah. But yeah, each regions, you got St. Louis, you got Memphis, of course, you got the Carolinas, Texas. Those are when you think of barbecue, which is another thing that I have learned as I've grown in this journey. I don't think I had it, but I started a group. It's a private group on Facebook now, but I do have an open group or open page on Instagram, and it's called The Unknowns, Black Pitmasters. Because in barbecue, which is it's probably America's original cuisine per se, but people of color have never had their due in regard to barbecue. I mean, if you go and say, well, who's William Perry? Or if you say, who's Myron Mixon, or who's this, or who's that? Yeah, you know them. Well, who's William Perry? Nobody knows no William Perry. Well, do you know Kansas City barbecue? Yeah, we love Kansas City barbecue. Well, it's because of him that Kansas City style of barbecue came to be. Right. Really? I never knew. Of course you did. So that's why I'm here to tell you. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, from our last conversation, the last time we had the podcast, you know how I am in regards to people of color, finding out history, just getting truth, whatever the truth is. Truth can be hurtful, it can be great, it can be wonderful, but the bottom line is that is truth. And I don't think truth should be withheld, no matter what it is. So it is what it is. So we don't have a lot. There was an article, I think it was Southern Living. There was a Fox article about 2 or 3 years ago. This is kind of what I am no way a spearhead for this. I was jumping on the bandwagon that some other media people were. But the catalyst was, there was an article, I think it was done by Fox or somebody else. I won't even say them. But they were listing the top 10, barbecuers, pitmasters per se. Wasn't nobody looked like me in there in that, and we have tons. We still have the oldest building, barbecue building that exists down south is still owned by a Black man. The descendant of a grandparent of, you know what I'm saying? So there was the Tuffy Stones, there was, of course, the Myron Mixons, there was other people that you see on TV and all these other cats, but none of the people that's doing the work here. So Southern Living, they counteracted that particular article and named their top 10, which included both Black and white, which it should, because we were all here at the same time, no matter what position we were here at the same time. And the number one they had was the unknowns. And they called them the unknowns because they were the people who while they were enslaved, they tended the pits because they had to, not necessarily because they want to, but they did it even for them and their families. And that is, from there and their type of cookings, what they brought from, where they were taking from, those were the basis of what we know now of everyday barbecue, as today. Everybody thinks brisket is king in barbecue. It's not. Whole cooking, whole animal cooking, not just hog, but whole animal cooking, cow, goat, lamb, all of that. When you're talking about barbecuing and doing it the hard way per se, tending the pit, being there for the pit, you don't necessarily got a thermometer, about feel, you just continue to put those coals in. They did it without all the stuff. They didn't have Traegers back then. They dug holes in the ground and did what they had to do to feed the people that were necessary to be fed. So when I saw that, I was like, ooh, let me do something that highlights Black pitmasters today, because there's nothing that really does that. You have a few that get out, and unfortunately, like everything else, Rodney Scott, he was mentioned on, he's a James Beard winner as a cook. The same thing that Aaron Franklin had too. They both earned that James Beard Award. And he was also on Chef's Table on Netflix. He had a great story. But now they're using him for everything. It's like, oh, we got the one Black guy, let's use it for everything.
Right.
So it's like, there's more. There's so many more, So I try to just use that to bring to light other people that are doing their job. They love the craft. They do it for the culture. They do it for their family. And most of all, because the barbecue is for the community. We do this for community. Barbecue is the one food. I know all food brings people together, forget it. But it's something about barbecue. I don't care what you do. If you smell that brisket, if you smell that hog, y'all coming together, and if for that 5 minutes,
so good.
Just, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
For that 5 minutes, you can be like, you know what, brother, that smells pretty good. I know what you do, how you do this, and you're good. Now y'all can go y'all separate ways after that. But barbecue is, I believe, it can change the world. It's the thing that can change the hearts of people. But like in everything else, just tell every story. That's all I'm trying to do, is just to have an avenue where all the stories can be told, and people that are really doing the craft can do what they want. So I went off on a tangent, my bad.
No, man, it's all good, because I think our heritage, when I say our, I mean as all of us, right? But the heritage is important. The story is important. It's important that we have equality. In the reality is, there's a lot of really good pitmasters out there, and not all of them. Shout out Michael Simon 216. But not everybody's Michael Simon, and there's other people out there doing things. And I love, shout out, and this is a plug, but one of my partners is Legacy Smokehouse here in Old Hilliard. And I have probably at least 2 meetings a week at Legacy Smokehouse. And part of the reason is so the rest of my day I smell like Legacy Smokehouse. Right. Man, it's special. It's like a cologne. When you walk through the department store, they spray you, like the rest of the day you're smelling shout out Drakkar from the 80s, or Polo or whatever else.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
at the end of the day, like I love having meetings at Legacy Smokehouse because those guys know what they're doing. I smell like it the rest of the day, and their food's just awesome. So,
And it's a craft that you know, we use the term pit master lightly if you
Right.
really think about it, because it's hard to be a pit master when you can't control the fire. That's only my opinion. But the bottom line is, it is barbecue is, it's more of our roots than what we know, you know. And I don't mind people doing great in barbecue, whoever they are. As you know, they just say, just put respect where respect is due.
Right.
Black folks would just consider, oh, they were just good cooks. No, they worked the craft. And it's no different than just like Jim Beam. Uncle Nearest, have you heard of that bourbon?
I have not. I'm not a bourbon.
Okay. You know, the older I got, the little bit more bourbon I drink. But Uncle Nearest, he was a gentleman. His name was William Green, I believe it was. He was the lead distiller at Jack Daniels. He taught Jack Daniels how to distill. He was he a preacher? He was something. But anyway, he was one of the best in the land at that time. He befriended Jack and his family, and they loved him. This wasn't a, you know, he had to do it, because he was a free slave by that time. He was a free slave by that time. So this is what he did willingly. He taught Jack. Jack did what he did. And it's not like the family, you know, had any thanks or anything. A lot of his family, over time, his descendants have worked at the distillery. It's pretty sad that it took them this long to really let the story out. But, you know, they did. Kudos to them. Thank you. I appreciate it. And with that, the young lady who dug up the story of Uncle Nearest started the distillery and started, you know, in his legacy, another bourbon, you know, Uncle Nearest bourbon. And it's whiskey. It's smooth. It's smooth. Well, but, I mean, it's just those type of things, you know. It's not everyday knowledge, but you don't want it to be buried knowledge. Does that make sense?
No, it does. And I think it gets easy because we can pull into the drive-through at any, you know, most fast food places and grab a barbecue sandwich. Man, that's not barbecue. You know, I know I'm preaching to the choir now, but like barbecue is something that takes hours. It takes intention. It takes love and the right amount of rub beforehand, the right amount of time on the fire, all those things. I'm preaching to the choir, and I'm probably not even saying it right.
Oh, you're fine.
I microwave it in Ninja Foodie on my side, but I do appreciate a good barbecue, you know, and the intentionality and the time that it takes to make something that just falls off the bone and tastes amazing. And I bet anybody listening to this is probably swinging in their local,
right, hungry right now,
or they're hungry. Hopefully, they're not listening to this around lunchtime, but all that's really, man, it's just good stuff. Like, that's why I wanted to have you on again. We could talk high school. We could talk all that stuff. We could talk a lot of things that we talked about last time. But again, go back and find that episode, because we covered a lot of ground. And I thought it was amazing, and I've gotten great feedback from it. What I want to talk about was barbecue. And this is all, it's amazing to me. It's fascinating. So now let's shift real quick to food trucks. Because I'm fascinated by food trucks, man. They roll up into your neighborhood. You can ask my wife. We had a Cuban food truck guy come through, and I tried to get him on the podcast. He kind of ghosted me afterwards, but I think he thought I was a freak, because I really wanted to get him on, and I really wanted to have him tell his story of, all right, man, you bought a food truck. Like, what's that look like? Like, what's your life like? What's your day like? Food trucks, I think we take them for granted, because, you know, it's Food Truck Thursday or whatever, and we roll up somewhere and we grab our whatever it is out of whatever food truck, or if there's a line of them, you know, we do our thing. Man, that's a business. It's a rolling business on wheels. It's not cheap, and it takes a ton of sacrifice and planning, I think. Am I right? So that's why I want to touch base with you on, because I know you've at least looked into potentially rolling up a food truck. Or do you have one? No.
We don't. That's part of the Honeycomb campaign.
Okay.
Actually, what we're going to be getting is a trailer, a barbecue food truck trailer. So a food truck, the one thing about food truck, they're very expensive. I mean, we're talking 60 plus, maybe minimum 50 plus. And a lot of food trucks aren't able to hold a smoker like we need, you know, for a good low and slow barbecue. So that was out the picture. Plus, if your truck goes down, your business go down.
Right.
With the trailer, if my truck go down, worst case scenario, I rent a trailer, I rent a truck, You know what I'm saying? To get
Mhm.
to do what I need to do. But we opted for a trailer. It is a truck without the motor, obviously. And the particular one that we would like to have has what they call a barbecue porch on it. So it's about 20 feet. And then the back 6 feet is an open space where I can put a smoker. So that's where I can have all my meat done. Inside, it's just like a regular kitchen. You can have a griddle, a stove, warmers, refrigerator, all that kind of stuff in that small space. And that's where we can prepare the rest of the food, wherever we need to go, and that particular one that we're looking at is about $2,800. And that's with everything that we need. And that's just a trailer. Of course, you got to get licensed, you got to get inspected, licensing, all that kind of stuff. So that's a little bit more, but the trailer is what we're looking for is like $2,800. So I just put it up to my, 1,500 and roll where we want to go. And that's one of the best things about this, since it's only part-time right now. I can do, 2 or 3 times out of the month and do where I want to go, go where a hot spot is, go to a fair. If there's a weekend and I'm off and there's a fair open, I can get into it, let's go. We can roll there. We can come down in front of your new facilities and you can have your grand opening. I won't have it by then, but you can have a re-grand opening and we'll be right outside the facilities. You know what I'm saying? So it enables us to get customers wherever we are. It enables to get and enlarge our customer base, but it takes a lot of overhead out of a brick and mortar per se.
Right.
So, with that, I can, still even prepare stuff in there and not even need the commissary kitchen, to prepare the food or whatever. So everything can just be done trailer wise and we're good to go, fix it, put it in the fridge and go on about our business. So
but there's still planning because barbecue is not something you just throw in the microwave. It's ready later, right?
No, you have to
plan. If you roll up to, let's just say the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has something, you roll up there, you set up your thing. And I'm not saying that would happen, but let's just say it would, if that's the case, you roll up to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the 216. You set up your thing. You've probably had to plan for what you're going to have on the menu that day. And likely in barbecue, you probably had to start cooking it way before you roll up there. Is that right?
Yeah, we have. Once we get our trailer or truck or whatever we're doing mobile, we have to give the county a menu. So it's going to be the same menu wherever we are per se. Not too much. We may add stuff here and there depending on what it is, but it's going to be a very streamlined menu. So we always know what the menu is going to be. Wherever we're at, we're going to know. You can get a rib chicken dinner. You can get pulled pork. Now stuff like brisket would be special. Sandwiches, different sandwiches, maybe, Cleveland's own Polish boy, we may have something like that at a time or things like that. So, but the menu is pretty much set. At that point, we got to find out when we're going to be there, what time we can be there, how, where our spot is, because you're going to have to be at a specific time and they're going to give you a specific spot, especially with somewhere like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Or even if it's like a wait over Wednesday is what we have now, or even if we got food truck Wednesdays up and down downtown to East 9th Street. How to find the spot. But most of the stuff is going to be cooked that night before and put in the Cambros, to keep them warm and ready for when we get there. But you always leave a little bit left because you want to have something cooking. So you bring people in. So I have a slab or two.
You get that aroma, right?
I have a slab or 2 of ribs. I have a little bit of chicken or something going on, in the smoker that people can smell it and they can come. But most of the stuff will already be prepared by that time. Our sides are going to be prepared. They're going to be panned. They're going to be ready, for serving, sitting in the warmer, all that kind of stuff. Of course, with the drinks and everything, they'll be all in the cooler. Everything be done, and most of the meat will be done. But prior to, I will be cooking a little bit of meat, just so people would come in and smell it. Yeah,
well, that makes perfect sense. Man, we covered a lot of ground. So what are the ways that we can help you? And again, I'll have everything in the links as always, but anybody listening today, how can we help you?
Well, first thing, if you're kind enough, if your pockets are willing, I would love for you to invest in the company. Okay. You will have that link to the Honeycomb page. So you can just click it there and everything that you need to know, the term of the loan, the length of it, what you get back on your investment, what we're doing it for, our story is there, the video is there, everything is out, the SEC papers is there. our business plan of how we figure we're going to make money for these next few years is there. So it's not just like, oh, I'm going to give you some money. No, they done their research. We had to do our due diligence so you can see what you're getting into. And if you needed to ask a question, you can post it on there and we can return that question. Not a problem. Outside of that, you can just visit my website where you can pick up the sauce and the rub. And you can see any of my links, my social links, and just like and share things. I mean, the biggest thing that anybody can do is like and share your, or, you know, become a follower or a friend on your social media aspects.
Right.
I mean, that's people say that's the least you can do, but that is one of the most powerful things you can do because you never know who sees what.
Right.
You never know.
Yeah, man, it's utilizing the network, and I'm just glad you're in mine. You know, and we've said this a million times. We've been friends a long time. You've been great to me, and I'm excited just to watch all your, you know, just as you have evolved in everything that you're doing. I'm so excited to watch that, and I'm always honored to have you on as a friend, as a guest. I learned a lot today about barbecue. And so shout out to my Ninja Foodie crowd. Anybody that purchased a Ninja Foodie because of me, which I'm not an affiliate. I need to get an affiliate because I need to start.
You got to get an affiliate, man.
Like those guys got some cash. They could throw some my way because at the end of the day, I've probably pushed a lot of Ninja Foodies. But if you have a Ninja Foodie, give my guys sauce a try, a rub a try, give them the sauce a try. Let's stop giving the big boys money. Let's support, you know, local guys. Someone that not only just a local guy, but as you heard, his passion for history and what he's doing. And he's from the 216. I mean, what
216, baby. What more do you want? That stops it right there. It's over.
Nothing else. As soon as I said 216, we could have had like a 2-minute, we could have a 2-minute podcast and just said, hey, he's from the 216. He's got his own line. Here's his website. Peace out.
That's right.
We could have done, but no, man, I'm so glad we didn't do that. I'm glad that we got to talk even more. I love you, brother. I'm thankful for everything and our friendship, and I wish you nothing but success. And I hope you continue to just take off. And at some point, we're gonna have that roll down to the 614. Unfortunately, where I don't say unfortunately, this is my home now. It's my home, but maybe we'll have the thing roll down to the 614 one day. We'll pull it up to the junction, and we'll knock out some barbecue.
I'm telling you, man, if this is, whether it comes this way or another way. Oh, a big wasp in here. Huge. And I just
if anybody's watching video, so Darren's currently in the fight of his life with a wasp in his office.
Wow.
I got him. This is what we do on Unscripted. So you'll have to go back and watch the video. That's an extra.
Unscripted.
Unscripted. We never had a wasp attack, so there you go.
I you know, all the pleasantries are ditto for me. And like I said, I'm so happy, proud to know you as a friend, as a man. I'm so happy to see what you're doing business-wise, because I know how it helped me. A lot of my social media prowess I wouldn't have had if, you know, Aaron Conrad didn't give me some help in the beginning, setting up a blog, doing the WordPress, going all everything. And now I'm a little, you know, I can do a little bit by myself now, you know, so I know what you can do. And I know how you can help people who are challenged in that area, because you know, look, everybody don't want to do a Wix or GoDaddy. They want something a little bit better, and they want to be able to have to do it themselves. And I believe that you can help them with that. So kudos to you to that, man. Blessings to you on that. And like I said, before I got attacked, or I was trying to say before I got attacked by that wasp, look at that, I punched myself in the eye. Look at that.
You need to get some ice on that, man.
Absolutely. I am going to roll down there, and we will put you on post up, and you know, sitting down by the dock of the bay, wasting time, cooking some barbecue, man, because that is what I love to do. That is what
Let's do it. Well, man, I appreciate you. I love you, and I look forward to episode 3 at some point in the next 100, man. Let's do it again.
Absolutely.
Before I forget, where can they get merch? Because that merch is sweet. I'm not gonna lie.
You know, I haven't ventured out yet. I haven't done that yet. I may need to hook up with you and see you know, what you got going there. But
I got some people. I got people. But man, we get some Carter's barbecue merch on the store for sure. I can help with that.
Actually, a Heights guy did this. I mean, you know, he's a Heights guy, but you what I don't know Bedford guys doing this. So what you want me to do?
Yeah, man, it's good. I like it. I love the logo. I love the branding. I love all of it. And most of all, man, I love you as a friend. And
you too, man.
I look forward to speaking to you soon, my brother.
All right. You take care. Love you, sir.
Best of luck to you.